Hi, this is Zak Mir with the US Chartbreakers here at Zak's Traders Cafe for Monday, the 17th of June. Starting off with the S&P, where you could say that the progression couldn't be smoother than it has been. We had a gap higher last week through 53.90, and above that looking for the blue September resistance line projection 55.45 as soon as the end of next month, or even sooner than that. On the downside, not expecting now anything lower really than the old April resistance and the floor of the channel there around 52.55 to 52.60. On to the Nasdaq, and here the Nasdaq 100 pushing, edging higher all the time. The top of that rising trend channel from back in September, 19,900, which we're expecting obviously by the end of this month, and probably hitting that psychological 20,000 barrier. In terms of the downside, if we do have a rug pull, then the floor of that gap there, 19,200, would be the obvious initial place for this market to seek support. Moving on to the stocks, starting with Adobe, and here massive gap to the upside, bear trap island reversal, so gapping down there in March and gapping down again in May, and then with those two gaps down, in fact three gaps down if you include the February gap, then we've had a massive reaction. That suggests that this current rebound should have legs. The last resistance on the way down around $517, and above that looking for the top of that falling trend channel from November as high as $580 by the end of next month. But obviously 517 needs to hold this. There's no point hanging or holding on to that baby if it does break. Next up is Barfresh, and here the shares an aggressive move within a rising trend channel there. That's been in place basically since the beginning of last year. We had a resistance line projection heading towards $3.70, and we're looking for that by the end of this month, while we remain above recent resistance on the way down, but back at the 240 area. Ideally we hold up a bit higher than that, but around the 240, 250 area, we're looking for 370 for Barfresh, hopefully by the end of next month. BME or Buy Me is next, and here you can see that we've had a nice ricochet off the floor of that rising trend channel there from July last year. We've also pushed through recent resistance around $1.70, and above that looking for the top of the range and the top of that rising trend channel as high as $4 plus by the end of next month. Interesting setup from Disc Medicine, where we had a massive gap up, but we managed to close back above the floor of the gap there around $35. It's been up and away ever since. Obviously we'd expect the shares now to make a beeline for the top of the gap there, $58 by the end of next month. Ideally they stay above the old support there from back in October at $42 in the meantime. Moving along to a stock which we covered just last week, Longeveron, and here we can see that with this progress within this falling trend channel near the bottom, looking for this as a potential reversal situation. End of day close above that resistance line there from back in April is required, and that would be above $4. If we can get that, then it would be basically the next level would be around the $6 area, and that was resistance on the way down back in February, March. Not quite as exciting on the next situation, but still decent. Here we've got a situation which is hopefully going to be one of our decent ones over the next month or two. We've got Li-Cycle here, Li-Cycle Holdings, and here basically bouncing off the recent support area around $2.90, and looking for the shares to at least hit the 50-day line and recent May resistance around $5.20 over the next couple of weeks. Ideally, we stay above recent broken resistance at 360 in the meantime. One of the best movers around is coming up next, and it comes in the form of lipocene. Here you can see we hit the top of that rising trend channel from back in basically this time last year. So the $9.50 area is what we were looking for. Next level up, which might be as soon as the end of next month, up to $16 at the upper parallel of that rising formation from this time last year. And as I said, that is possible by the end of next month, while we remain above recent broken resistance around $8.20. So there is a proviso there on that. Laird has been a big performer over the recent past, and you can see it looks like we're in a bull flag situation here. We hit our first target there around $4.20. Above that looking for the upper parallel of that rising trend channel from July last year. That's heading towards $6.20, and we're looking for that by the end of next month. Covered the next stock just a few days ago as well, MediaCo, and here you can see good progress above that rising 50-day moving average, $1.90. Now we're above the old resistance, the initial May resistance there around $2.30. And the longer we stay above that, the greater the chance of a move to that guessed rising trend channel top there at $5.20 by the end of next month. But the key here is to stay above that $2.30 area. I was always expecting this next stock to do well just because it's got the word nuclear in it, and uranium's quite hot at the moment. We hit our first target based on very little charting information. I mean, that is it. So that was the guess of the first top of the trend channel there from back in the early part of May. Above the target line there, $8.90, looking for a fresh leg to the upside as high as $13 by the end of next month. But in the meantime, ideally we stay above $8, whatever happens on that situation. Ocular Therapeutics is next, and here rising trend channel there from back in August last year, and looking for an end of day close above the 50-day line there at $6 to give us $9 by the end of next month, which is basically the middle channel line there. There's probably another line there you can draw, a wider one from back in the summer, but at the moment looking for $9 on a break of $6. Reborn is next, and here you have decent pattern too, bear trap gap reversals, a massive gap to the upside, breaking through recent resistance at $6.30 and above that, looking for the next level up. We already had the $5.80 area as our first target. Upper parallel of that is up to $11.60, which we're looking for by the end of next month. Finishing off with Telesis and or Telesis, if you prefer. Here we've broken out of a falling wedge, and that means that we can look forward to the top of the triangle there from basically the turn of the year. Top of the triangle there heading for $12.50, which we're hoping for by the end of next month if we get a relatively swift end of day close back above the 50-day moving average at $5.25. That's only valid to retest the old resistance there from February on a break of the 50-day line. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.